Hello there, my dear. You should really smile more. You know you're never fully dressed without one. Just kidding, I'm not Alistair. It's me, Great Creator Studios. And I'm here to show off a bit of my process today. Did anyone ask for this? No. Am I gonna give it to you? Yes. So this is my prop world. This is the world I use to build props for all the animations I make. And also, as you can see from the Hermitcraft Town Hall, steal buildings from better builders than me. So today I'm just going to take you around the prop world, give you a little tour. A lot of this is just me messing around with commands and stuff, but most of it is animated music videos and those gags I make. So let's start with some of the more recent stuff. So I've been working on a big project recently. And yeah, so in order to do that though, I need to customize Dementar more. And that includes his famous shotgun and his famous double daggers. And I only built one because, of course, I just duplicate this afterwards. So the way I make custom weaponry is that I just build it out really big in Minecraft, and then I shrink it down in the animation software Blender. So one trick of the trade I learned is that you can build the weapon flat on grass level if it's going to be only one block tall, but you got to take out the grass and dirt underneath it. Like if you had a line of blocks, say this was grass, if you had grass here and you use the software I use to cut it out of the dirt, then this entire bottom layer of the cube would be deleted and you could see inside the weapon, which I don't want for this purpose. And you can actually see that mistake. I made that mistake in one of my older videos, Dementar's Prison Escape. Since that scene will have a new use soon, hint hint, it's gonna come back. And I fixed the mistake. So you might be wondering what these are. And that's because I decided these villagers need Jesus. I will not be accepting further questions. Before we move on, I would just like to see if I can fly myself through the barrel of the shotgun. Okay, line up. Get a good running start, and I did it! I did it! You all saw that I did it! I've been struggling to do that for days now. I did it, I did it. Ah, this. This is just a standard machine gun out of pixel art I made for Overwatch's army, his army of anarchists. I just need them to have standard machine guns. You don't really see a lot of guns in cartoons these days. I wonder why. This is a thimble. I will not be answering any further questions. A lot of the stuff over here is just for the big project I've been working on, and I'll release more details about that soon. These might look like white cubes, but they're Space Force prison cells. Uh-oh. Someone got out. Uh-oh. All the weapons are missing. Weird. And of course, this is like a micro build of the space station, so I'm gonna use camera tricks to make this look bigger than it actually is. That ancient city was just me messing around with commands. I just like placing big structures in flat areas so I can get a better look at them. This is when the Deep Dark update came out. Oh, this. What is this doing here? This isn't for the Great Creator Cinematic Universe. Now, I'm not a builder in Minecraft, and this house reflects that, but that's on purpose. Normally for some of my city builds, I'll take them out of Greenfield or other places like that. But for this building, I built it all myself, built up the trees around it, and project announcement, I actually made a Hermitcraft fanfiction that is 3 books long. Yes, ladies, I am single. But this building is going to be very important to a scene in the climax of the 3rd book. The 3rd book isn't out yet, I'm still editing it, but keep an eye out for that. You can find it on Wattpad. Here we have a failed attempt to build a bus. I wanted to take a joke from the Guys Who Save TV movie and animate it, but I can't figure out how to make a bus, which is where the joke takes place in, because I realized that 2 blocks wide is going to be too short for the models to walk around in, but I can't figure out how to make it any wider without making it any boxier. So if anyone has a good bus design, let me know. And then, of course, we have Orion's revolver. We have the standard Space Force rifle over here. We have Dooman and Carl's bridge from Axe Goes to College. We have Shinipei's giant mallet. But we have a micro-scale version of a Space Force cruiser. Don't interrupt me, chicken. Never interrupt me. We have a scaled down version of a Space Force cruiser. And then, of course, we have two separate vehicles. These are tanks belonging to Space Force and the Dark Gauntlet. Now, this one I never got a chance to use, same with the cruiser back there, but I did get a chance to use this one in the Viva La Vida music video. Yes, the sheep here is a subscriber. Are you? Then up here, I'm trying to build a Dark Gauntlet cruiser, but it's taken a minute because it's a lot of placing stairs in the air, and I need to figure out the exact dimensions of the cruiser. Maybe I should microscale it like I did with the Space Force ship. Then in here, you might recognize this. This is, I think it's Etho's build from Hermitcraft Season 7, but for my purposes, it's Voltux's command ship. I ripped it out of the Hermitcraft world and redid the inside, so he's got his own little throne. The doors don't actually function in the end because I ripped out the pressure plates, but I only needed the bridge scene for what I was working on. He's got a ton of monitors, he's got lights going around. Now, Etho's ship color contrasts with mine because he has a white color scheme going on where I have a black one on the inside of the ship because, you know, bad guys and darkness. By the time this video comes out, you should be able to see what I use this for. This is the Hermitcraft Town Hall, also from Season 7. I ripped this building out of the Hermitcraft world so I could remove the giant diamond throne that Scar sat on. And yeah, I wanted to clear that. I wanted to clear out some space so I could have my introduction to Overwatch in here. Uh-oh, gotta sleep. That was my Beatles impression. Gotta sleep! I turn monsters off in this world, but I don't want you to have to squint your eyes so you have to see everything, so... Why am I looking in chests? No, that's not why I'm here. Every time I see a Minecraft chest, I'm just compelled to look at it. Ah, there it is. Hello. But that's another tip I learned. If you're ever doing a big demolition job, I just use World Edit to rip out the buildings and put it in the prop world, so that way if I ever need the building in its original state, I can find it back in the original world. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Welcome to the castle! My Beatles impression is terrible, but I love it. So I ripped this out of here so I could make a Genshin Impact animation that I never finished nor published. If anyone has an easier way to animate MMD models, please let me know. I just cannot do it for the life of me. There's just so many bones. So these two are right next to each other for a reason. I built up a Order of the Skull temple for this is like the location for the series finale of Space Force as I see it in my head, so it's like layers of a cake. There's stairs with platforms sticking out for multiple opportunities for battling, and then the opposing armies would be battling out front. And like I said, the inside is nothing too fancy. Don't want to give away too much of the ending I have planned, but if you watch the Mess With Mine music video, then you'll know what goes on here, partly. And then I just transformed this area to mycelium so I could have like a flat alien terrain to work with. So yeah, this set I built myself, and then this set I built myself. Is it a black box? No, it is a hangar. Space Force hangar, Dark Gauntlet hangar, any hangar I need, it's a hangar. I'll probably tell you which hangar I want to use it for. I can never light these up enough to get rid of the bats. Ever since the new update, they lowered where you start in super flat worlds, and these bats just drive me crazy. Although I do like the new designs. This right here is Dementar's sword. Later on in the Guys Who Save TV, Dementar's sword gets an upgrade where he can drop it into a whip, so like it's a whip with a bunch of sharp blades on it. If anyone knows how I can pull this off in animated form, please let me know. This video is just me begging for help from animators. Please. Help. So this is like a prototype of Dementar's sword. This is a drum set I made for the goat prank. This was just me experimenting with pixel art, like just making bigger versions of diamond swords, but then I found a better version in the files I already downloaded. Oh yes, the phone booth. This one required a lot of trial and error. One of my least popular gags, I will say. This is like a chunk of floating terrain from what video? Oh yeah, Heart of a Hero. This is the Heart of the Hero music video terrain chunks. I just use the same terrain chunks every time. Here are the staves. So that's a sword I never used in the background, but these are the early prototypes of Voltux's staff. And I eventually landed on a design I'm happy with, although In my head, I saw like his staff as a solid black mass, but I'm pretty happy with the little detailing I added to it. I think it gives it more character than something like this or this. And then I just copied that design for, well, I don't know when this video is coming out, so you're gonna have to see who this is for. Here's what I was talking about. The platform that I ruined for the video. It's just a couple iron blocks, but... Oops. But because there's grass underneath it, and dirt, the two faces, when I told them that I want to cut it off at this level, it takes away the underside of this block. The same thing happened when I exported this Space Force shuttle. It happened with their feet. But it kind of worked out in the end. I liked it. And the reason this doesn't have a back is because if I need one, I'll just slap this platform onto it. But yeah, inside the shuttle's nothing too special. I should have added some seating areas here in retrospect, but oh well, I never need this for that much anyway. And a little steering mechanism. And then in here we have Charlie's kitchen. Now the reason this one doesn't have a cupboard is because anytime I know I need to move something in a scene and I'm building it, I don't include it in the scene because that's a nightmare to remove, and then I have missing faces and I can see out into the endless void that is Blender. So instead, I will opt to just not include these trapdoors in the scene and then add them later in the actual joke. I know he needed to open a cupboard, so that way I didn't include the cupboard he needed to open so I could use it from the rogue pieces I have lying around. Same with the fridge. I just flattened an iron block and opened it. And then black concrete. Black concrete is the answer to all your I don't want to build any more problems. Let's continue the tour. I forget what that was for. I forget what... Oh, wait, no. I know what this was for. This is a monocle. I have so many jokes lying around. I really need to edit those and get them out. And then this is a piano, which I have 2 pianos in here. I forget where I put the other one. Then, of course, we have 2 cars. I remember what I needed the 1 car for, but I don't remember building this one. But yeah, this was the car that ran Toby over in the costume change bit. This is a spear of the old guard, although I'm thinking about changing their spears to, like, shoot lasers. I tried to make a joke about a blimp, and I got this far in building it before I realized I don't know how to build airships. And then here, this is the buried alive bit. Look, see, I knew I needed a grave, so I dug down and put in some coarse dirt at the bottom. Then this is a Dark Gauntlet fighter, one of Dementor's ships, but so the plan is that these ships are going to be spherical, and then the closest analogy I can think of is it's like an atom, or the common depictions of atoms in the media. You have the core in here, and then you have 2 different rings rotating around it, and that's what propels it in the air. But I could never figure out how to get the second ring, I could never figure out how to move them in a way that looked convincing. But it's actually functional. Look, hatch down here, seat in here, and then big old ring that blocks your view right there. Yeah, these fighters might not be too practical. Then potted plant, I forget what I needed that for. Oh, there's another early version of Voltux's staff lying on the ground, but I decided to build them up. And then these are fighters from the Muteo, which is like the ship home to the main characters in Space Force. And yeah, I originally built the mold I wanted out of gray concrete, then I added the wings, and then it expanded into the final product, which was this. However, this ship has been my nightmare. All the textures exist in other files. I know the computer knows where they are, and even in my Blender scenes, they're fine. But when I try to put them in, I get the pink texture of death. In no way does this computer not know where those texture files are. I've told it multiple times, and it refuses to listen. I've tried re-exporting it. I've tried deleting everything and restarting. It just doesn't work. Uh-oh, sleeping time. Fortunately, I leave beds everywhere, so that way if I'm working on a project and it starts to get dark, I can just sleep. There was another early version of Dementor's sword right there. Oh, wait, look. There's the other piano. I originally started building stuff over here, and then I put this ancient city on top of it. That was my mistake. Yeah, I was messing around with shipwrecks to get, like, the body of a ship going. Here's my other piano. I forgot this was here. Now I know what you're thinking. Great Creator Studios, you're holding out on us. What on earth is that thing right there? This is the nefarious Dr. Crazy Planes' airship from the My Machine music video, which is the first video I ever used denoising on, I think. Or no, it was the Detective Joe bit that I used denoising on for the first time. But a friend of mine told me how to make the blocks not blurry, so like they appear in the game as they would in the animation. So overall, I think that this air part of the airship came out well. I want to build more airships both in videos and in my Minecraft worlds themselves. They always just get too bloated. I like the way this one turned out. So yeah, it's basically just got a standard shipwreck that I repaired at the bottom with a giant propeller in the back. And oh yeah, what is that thing? I saved the best for last, my friends. This is the Muteo. I built this from the ground up myself. This is the ship that our main crew from Space Force will be hanging out in exactly as I see it in my mind. Would you like to see it? Well then, you better be ready for a part 2, because this ship has a lot to offer. Anyway, I hope you liked this little rambling video I did. I just wanted to, like, take you inside my process. I think I showed you everything, but if I missed something, I'll cover it again in part 2 when I tour the inside of the Muteo. But yeah, I haven't used this ship for anything at the time of making this video. This ship will be included in more stuff. I just need to figure out a use for it. I'm already making music videos that include this ship. The problem is I can only render and animate so fast. But yeah, more stuff will be coming. I just wanted to take you inside my process, show you all the drafts of different builds I did, how I make custom weapons without downloading anything crazy. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed the video, and yeah, that's our show, folks. Have a good night.